Rust of groundnut. Causal organism responsible for rust of groundnut is Puccinia arachides. In India, it was first observed in Punjab and recorded for the first time at Tirupati in 1971. There are 10 to 29% losses caused due to only the rust pathogen in southern parts of the India. Similarly, it also causes losses to oil content of groundnut crop. That means total 7 to 10% of losses in oil extraction occurs due to infection by this groundnut rust, that is Puccinia arachides. Here you can see the symptoms of this disease. It affects all aerial parts of the plant and causes small, minute, pale yellow to light brown pustules that are iridospori. That means it contains iridospore inside that iridospori, and these are appear on the lower surface of the leaves. And these pustules enlarge in size and reach the maximum size of 1 millimeter in diameter. At the end, the upper epidermis, that is the epidermal layer, ruptures and exposes a powdery mass of iridospore. From that powdery mass, there are millions of iridospore present, and such iridospore are responsible for infection. Small necrotic brown spot also appears on upper surface of leaves due to the presence of this iridospore, and these rust pustules may be seen on petioles and stem. In late season, it shows brown teleospori. That means the next stage of iridospori is teleospori, and this serves as a dark pustules appearing among the necrotic patches. In severe infection, lower leaves also dry and drop down prematurely and leads to the production of small and shriveled seeds. That means the total defoliation of this groundnut crop occurs due to the rust of pathogen. So there is the less availability of food material that are required for development of pods and seeds. So the seeds were so small and it looks like shriveled seeds. Here you can see the teleospores and iridospore in images. In upper image, there are circular to oblong iridospores you can see, and in second image there is a teleospore. These are two cell spore. These are two stages, that is uridal stage and teleal stage, produced by this Puccinia pathogen. And in this rust, pycnidal and acial stages have not been recorded, and there is no information available about the role of alternate host which are required for completion of life cycle of rust pathogen. The main survival condition of this Puccinia pathogen is in the form of iridospore, and these are always survive on volunteer groundnut plants which are not sown by farmer but present due to the seeds present at the time of harvesting of previous groundnut crop. And this fungus survives in infected plant debris also and complete its life cycle. These iridospores spread as a contaminant of seeds and pods, and it also spread through wind-borne inoculum or iridospores. There are two collateral hosts were reported for Puccinia arachides. In that, first one is Arachis marginata and second one is Arachis prostata. On this collateral host, this pathogen survives in the form of iridospore or teleospore, and in absence of main host, it completes its life cycle on these two hosts. Similarly, there are some favorable conditions. In that, there are high relative humidity, that is above 85%, and heavy rainfall and low temperature, that is 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. These are some factors, environmental factors. These are important for development of or susceptibility of this disease. For management of this groundnut rust, we must have to avoid monoculturing of groundnut crop. See, monoculturing means growing year after year only one crop, year after year on the same season or in the same field, it is called as monoculture. So that the teleospores and iridospore which can survive on infected plant debris of previous harvested groundnut crop. So this monoculture should be avoided to break the life cycle of this Puccinia arachides. Similarly, the groundnut plants which are voluntarily grown on infected plot, such volunteer plants should be removed, and some collateral hosts like Arachis prostata, these are some collateral hosts. These should be removed before sowing or in at the time of groundnut crop growing. Similarly, we can also control this disease by spraying of tridimorph or mancozeb 0.2% at the frequently interval of 15 days. For controlling of both the infection of rust and ticca, 3 sprays of mixture, that is carbendazim 0.025% and mancozeb 0.2% are recommended at interval of 30, 42 and 54 days after sowing, or 3 sprays of 0.2% chlorothalonil at 30, 50 and 70 days after germination is recommended for controlling the both infection of this rust and ticca. Stem rot of groundnut. This is one of the common disease occurs in groundnut crop and it's caused due to Sclerotium ralphsi. This disease occurs throughout the groundnut growing areas of the world in tropic and in warm parts of temperate zone. This is most serious disease in Saurashtra due to monoculturing of the groundnut crop. In Gujarat, there is the huge production of groundnut crop occurs, and this Sclerotium rot always cause infection to each and every groundnut crop, and it concluded that 27% losses occurs due to only the stem rot of groundnut crop. Here you can see the infection of stem rot of groundnut. It mostly causes infection to collar region of the stem, and sudden wilting of branches occurs due to this collar rot. In right side there are some whitish color growth occurs at the collar region of this groundnut crop. You can see the leaflets become chlorotic to light green and then it turns brown, and subsequently the adjacent branches become infected and sudden wilting of all groundnut crop arises. Wilting is caused due to the invasion of the stem at or near the soil surface, and white mycelium, that is brown to dark colored sclerotia, were also seen on affected stem in advanced stage of infection. And it also causes infection to the pegs, roots, pods, kernels. All the plant parts got infected due to this color rot of groundnut. And later stage, it shows orange to brown colored spots on pods. Under severe infection, the whitish mycelium also seen on pods, leading to the rotting of whole pods. And on kernels, it shows bluish grey or ash blue spots also found in case of infection of this stem rot of groundnut. This pathogen produces dark colored sclerotia, and this fungus survives in soil, and it is seed and soil borne pathogen. The secondary spread of this disease occurs through sclerotia, which were spread at the time of interculturing operation by implements and irrigation water. Here are some predisposing factors which are responsible for favoring this disease. In that, first is monoculturing. Monoculturing have been found to induce severe occurrence of this disease, and frequently rains and irrigation also favors such diseases. Comparatively, the moderate to high temperature, that is 28 to 30 degrees Celsius, and moist condition, that is humid condition, and in sandy or sandy loam well aerated soil. These are some favorable conditions required for development of this disease. Similarly, high phosphate, gypsum, and undecomposed amphium also helps to increase the severity of this disease. An alternate period of high soil moisture and water stress conditions. These are some predisposing factors which makes plants vulnerable to attack of this disease. For management of this stem rot of groundnut, we must have to avoid monoculturing of groundnut crop. As we have seen in earlier slide, that is monoculturing is responsible for development of such soil-borne and seed-borne diseases, and year after year growing up same crop in the same field leads to the development of such seed rot diseases or color rot diseases or rust diseases. So we must have to avoid such monoculturing condition. Similarly, we can use crop rotation by maize, wheat, sorghum to break the life cycle of this stem rot of groundnut. Similarly, we can control this disease by using seed treatment with Thyram 0.3%. It should be done at the time of sowing. In this way, we can control this disease by using seed treatment and such some chemical control methods we can apply to control this disease at primary level.